Good morning. There's the jumping bee behind me. Good morning, everybody. Today is our Tao Te Ching study day, and my name is Michelle Wolf, and you can find me at caddyshackdesigns.com. It looks like the Periscope app is, hi Nina, not going to do anything quick about the porn followers stuff. The porn bots. Yes, the babies are happy right now, so I'm going to take advantage of it. So, every time I get a sex bot follower, I send it to Periscope Help. And I've been asking them, like, what are you going to do about this? Are you going to give us the option to approve our followers? Good morning. And they haven't done that yet, and I don't know if they're working on it or what the deal is. I know that it's a really small staff, but it was disturbing to me to find child porn stuff in my followers. So if you aren't already cleaning your followers list out of the porn stuff, take a screenshot of the child porn stuff and tweet it to @Periscope Help. If enough people do that and inundate them with it, yeah, it's disgusting. And it was bound to happen, right? I mean, yeah, it was bound to happen. So I sent it to Periscope Help and the FBI. The FBI has an internet crimes unit, of course, for children. And so I'm going to be sending screenshots of all of those to Periscope Help and the FBI. Because, yuck. That's the cops, in case you trolls don't know it. I'm sending that shit to the cops. Yeah. Cups. Yeah, it's really gross. It just started showing up yesterday. So I was like, okay. Nope. All I can do is screenshot it and send it to them. So that makes... it really challenges me to stay centered about stuff like that, because that stuff can really make me angry. Well, the porn thing makes me angry anyway, because children or adults, it's exploitation. You know, a lot of what we think are adults are actually teenagers who are runaways and are exploited. You know, it's just gross all the way around. And we know that the dark side of life exists. And we know that it's gross and we don't like it. And it challenges me to... it's just a challenge. It challenges me. There's a few subjects that I just still really struggle with. And I may always struggle with them. It's better, like the anger and the response to that. Yeah, the response to that is not as rageful as it used to be. But it's a reminder to me that... to have patience, that the work that we do every day, unraveling our stories and looking at things with the long view and the overall big picture, it's a reminder to me to have patience and compassion for ourselves for where we're at. Like, we do this stuff every day, and yeah, it still takes a lot of time. So if you have that reaction, good morning, to something vile, have compassion for your response and acceptance for your response and acceptance for the whole situation. It can take some time to move through that after you've been triggered. Yeah, I guess that's it. Just my message for that is just have compassion with yourself and take the steps that you can take by screenshotting it, sending it to Periscope Help. You don't have to send it to the FBI. That's just something that I do. But that's your choice. So, thank God for a daily gathering where I can remember that I don't know everything. And I don't have to know everything. Oh, that's good. That's good. I didn't know that. I don't have to know what's right and wrong for everybody under the sun. I just have to do what's in front of me to do. And what was in front of me to do was screenshot it and send it off. And block it. And that's all I can do at the moment. That's all I feel motivated to do at the moment. So, 62, the gift of the way. You guys are my gift. I don't have to spend all day grinding that axe because I get to come here and recenter with you. The way is the hearth and home of the 10,000 things. Good souls treasure it. Lost souls find shelter in it. Fine words are for sale. Fine deeds go cheap. Even worthless people can get them. So at the coronation of the Son of Heaven, when the 3 ministers take office, you might race out in a 4-horse chariot to offer a jade screen. But wouldn't it be better to sit still and let the way be your offering? Why was the way honored in the old days? Wasn't it said, seek, you'll find it. Hide, it will shelter you. And so it was honored under heaven. So her notes say, I think the line of thought throughout the poem has to do with true reward as opposed to dishonorable gain, true giving as opposed to fake goods. So the real, the substance, the things that those of us who seek a richer experience find substantial and find rewarding are not the cheap and easy. They're not the big and flashy. Usually there's nothing wrong with big and flashy. If you want an MTV Cribs, then, get it. If you can clean it, get it. Good morning. If that's what you want, I want a Jag. I'll own it. They're fancy. There's nothing wrong with fancy. The key is to understand that the fancy is not your source. It's not the thing that lasts forever. Fame is fleeting. Attention is fleeting. Love from other human beings is conditional and fleeting. It comes and goes because we're human. We can't love unconditionally. Thank you for the shares in the hearts. And the first thing you have to deal with in relationships is that person can't be everything to you all the time. They just can't. And to ask that of them is unfair. It's too much. It's asking for something that's beyond, at this point, human capability. Because we have those reactions when we see stuff. And because it's hard to rein it back in and to accept the fullness of life, vile and pure, it's really a challenge for us. So don't ask that of your relationships. You're not going to get it anyway. Let people off the hook today if you can, including yourself. So let's see what Stephen Mitchell's translation is today. Melissa's serene. Serene should be our keyword for the day. Let's seek serenity, understanding that humans can't provide that for us. Humans can't provide us serenity. We have to get that on our own. By turning inward and not seeking that outward, which is the flashy and the glittery and the fascinating. Louis C.K. wrote an article about Donald Trump and just nailed it because he is fascinating in his flamboyant ignorance. And he's like a dopamine hit. He called it that. It's a dopamine hit to the brain to see someone just so outlandish. But that's not the substance. That's not the stuff that lasts. So be entertained by it. Don't confuse where that stuff comes from. So 62 again. The Tao is the center of the universe, the good man's treasure, the bad man's refuge. Yeah, just don't get confused. There's nothing wrong with glitter. Just don't get confused about its proper place in your life. Honors can be bought with fine words, and respect can be won with good deeds, but the Tao is beyond all value, and no one can achieve it. Good morning to everybody that came in. The Tao is beyond all value, and no one can achieve it. You can't achieve it, you already are it. You can't go find it, it's already there. You're already in it. Thus, when a new leader is chosen, don't offer to help him with your wealth or your expertise. Offer instead to teach him about the Tao. Why did the ancient masters esteem the Tao? Because being one with the Tao, when you seek, you find. When you make a mistake, you are forgiven. And that is why everybody loves it. That's the kindness. Good morning. That's the kindness that comes from not arguing with reality. And doing what's in front of you to do, rather than taking on the entire world's problems as your personal mission, which is an impossible task. Ooh, sounded like somebody got... Hey! Nope. Thank you. They're hitting each other now. The line that stands out, nope, we don't do it. And they already know they're not supposed to. It's so uncool. No. The Tao is beyond all value and no one can achieve it. That's the line that stands out for me today. You can't, it's beyond all value. It's not flashy or glittery, and it is. If everything is one, the Tao is present in the flash and the glitter and the narcissistic freak show. It's there too. It's all up to us what we focus on. It's all up to us what current of the river we decide to swim in. We get that choice. And sometimes other people's currents cross ours, and then we get the choice of how to respond to that. Today's is really short. So let's see what Byron Katie has to say about that. 62. I love what is of true value. I love that what is of true value can't be seen or heard. It's nothing and it's everything. It's nowhere and it's right under your nose. It is your nose, as a matter of fact, along with everything else. It can't be reached or achieved because as soon as you start looking for it, you leave it. It doesn't have to be achieved, only noticed. Yeah, it's something you feel. It's not out there. It requires us to keep turning back in. And when our environment rejects us, and what I mean by that is when we are seeking, let me backtrack. Let me see how I want to say this. When you put yourself on this path and you decide you want to be aware of the oneness and you want to live in that authentic space, it requires that cleaning process, that turbulence, that chaos of everything that's in the way of your intention. Part of that is the people around you may start to fail you. And what I mean by that is they can no longer give you anything that satisfies you because that's not what you're looking for. And that's an older way of achieving like a pseudo sense of oneness. Like when we're younger or we haven't learned this yet, we get a pseudo sense of oneness from connection with other people. Then when you decide you want the larger oneness and connection, other people can't satisfy that need anymore. Good morning, Ben. So to reach for your partner, to reach for your friends, you may find that all those things suddenly become utterly unsatisfying. And that's part of the process. It's part of learning that it's not out there. It's not out there in other people. So the dissatisfaction that you encounter in your relationships is the indicator that it's time for you to turn in. So if you're used to reaching for your partner and getting a sense of oneness as best we can, then you did make this decision and you put yourself on this spiritual path. That sense of oneness is unsatisfying. It just leaves you craving more because you are craving more and your partner can't give you the pseudo connection anymore. You're learning to go straight for the source, straight for the main enchilada. Like you're going straight for the big thing. So what can happen is we go through a period of like, why is everyone failing me? Like I need help and no one's helping me. And what the fuck is that about? And it's part of the process. It's normal. They can't help you anymore. We can still help each other in the sense of acknowledging that we're going through these processes, and we can still offer what love we have to give, but we have to start to understand that when your environment becomes unsatisfying and leaves you craving more, that's just your information that you're beyond that now. And you've got to turn inward and find this richness of the Tao, this utterly satisfying, completely, you know what I mean? Like, it's beyond words. It's the peace. Hello. It's the peace. Yes, there's an aha moment. And that's how you start letting people off the hook. That's how when people disappoint you, you don't get mad at them. You say, oh, crystal friends. Yes, crystal friends are consistent. Okay, so that's how you do it. You recognize what's happening from the big picture. In the big picture, those relationships can't satisfy you anymore because you've chosen a different path. Does that make sense? So don't be upset with people when they're so disappointing as you're going through these processes. It's normal. It's part of it. It's totally part of it. And when you get past that, then your relationships with others are far more satisfying. Morning, Carrie. They're far more satisfying because you're not demanding that another person provide you the unconditional love from God or source or whatever that your soul is craving. Your soul is craving it. So I'll say it one more time and then I'll let it go. Your soul is craving the true, authentic oneness, the satisfying Tao, the satisfying God, whatever that is. You're craving that. You can't get it from people, and so that's what the only skill you have. Yes, and this spiritual process is learning new skills of getting that oneness and connection from inside, the only place that's unconditional. And that process can be rocky and bumpy. So if you're finding everyone's letting you down, say, yay! Thank you for reminding me that my source is within. Thank you for disappointing me so that I remember to go to God first or source first or whatever you want to call it. Whatever your preferred word is. Okay. Avery's like, yeah! Okay. Nothing. I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or an insult. Yes, me too. So, nothing anyone says is true, and no thought that arises within you is true. There's nothing. And yet, here is the world again. The sun in the sky, the sidewalk, the dog trotting along on a leash, cornbots in your followers. When you understand that you're one with reality, you don't seek, because you realize that what you have is what you want. It's the seeking, it's the striving and the struggle that we can let go of and feel immediate relief. Everything makes sense because you don't superimpose your thinking onto reality. And when you make a mistake, you realize immediately that it wasn't a mistake. It was what should have happened because it happened. What you have is what you want, which ironically brings you the other things that you want without so much struggle, without so much agony. Before the fact, there were infinite possibilities. After the fact, there was only one. The more, yeah, me too. The more clearly you realize that would have, could have, should have are just unquestioned thoughts, the more you can appreciate the value of the apparent mistake and what came from it. So our mistakes can be gold mines of stuff for us to learn and bring into the world if we view them as something that should have happened. It happened. It should have happened because it happened. So arguing with the reality of it wastes a lot of energy and denies you the gift that things like that can bring. Seeing this is the apparent mistake. Which part, Roseanne? This was terribly heavy for me. Which part? The should have happened part. It's not that it was destined. She doesn't mean it like it should have happened because it was destiny. Oh, the trying and trying. Yes, Jesus. I hear you. She means that don't fight with the reality of the fact that it happened. Not that it was destined to happen. I don't know if I believe that. Seeing that it should have happened, or it just happened, owning the reality that this thing happened. You can't change it. You can look for what you can get out of it. In the clarity of understanding, forgiveness becomes unnecessary. When you get it, when you take all the stories off of it, forgiveness isn't necessary. If there's anybody to forgive, it's usually ourselves, and those are more stories for us to undo too. And we don't always have time to sit and do a worksheet, but we can remind ourselves to at least let go of the struggle, to at least drop the argument with the reality of what happened, that someone died, that you wrecked your car, that you lost your job, that you made a mistake, whatever it is. If you can just let go of arguing with the reality that it shouldn't have happened, then when you have time to do a workbook or you can journal about it, you can get more out of it. You can get a lot more out of it. But in the moment, just drop the struggle. Just recognize, I'm telling myself a story right now, and I don't have time to pick it apart, but I'll revisit it when I get time, and make that commitment to yourself. And then just have an image of holding something. These are my headphones. Just holding it, dropping it. It's that simple. You can even physically close your hand just as a symbol that I can hear that I'm holding on to a story here. I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm just going to open my hand and drop it. And I'm going to listen for what comes after that. But I'm, in this moment, going to choose love. In this moment, I'm going to choose peace. And then I'm going to see, oh my, are you decorating my book? My Dow book is getting really colorful. It's okay. I'll treasure that later when she's older. Look how you decorating my book. She's coloring inside of it. Yeah, she knows she's not supposed to. She's doing it anyway. Uh-oh. Art with love. Who am I to get in the way of coloring? Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh. Colors I can handle better than scissors, I think, because I can still read it. I have a couple of books that she's colored in. So, anyway. So the whole concept of today's is true value. Not the hardware store. The true value of the Tao, the true unconditional love of Source, the true, the truthy true. Bypass the rest and go for that. That's funny. Okay. Any questions? It's kind of a short reading today. Oh, I was looking for the other book, but it's down there getting colored. Are you decorating? Thank you. The true. Yes, like in Cloud Atlas. I do not. No, not really. It's warm. Yeah, nope. No readings. Have you guys seen Cloud Atlas? You should see it. And look at it from a spiritual perspective. It got panned by the critics. It's an amazing movie. It's a great movie, especially for the things that we talk about. The true. I love that. Oh, I love that movie. A lot of the most powerful, profound movies get panned by the critics. I think it's on Netflix. Cloud Atlas. Yeah, very intense, very complex. You hated it. You can't look at it literally. You have to look at it metaphorically. Yeah. Yeah, 8:30 is really actually a better time. So, yeah, watch Cloud Atlas. Watch the movie with Robin Williams. Also got panned by the critics. Something Color. No. What's the Robin Williams movie where his wife, he dies and his wife, suicide? What Dreams May Come. Thank you. Yeah, that's another one to watch from a metaphorical standpoint, a spiritual standpoint, about how what their viewpoint, influences their afterlife. And yeah, Never Ending Story. Yeah, lots of movies. Most of the movies that get tossed by the critics are the ones that, yeah. What Dreams May Come, Cloud Atlas, The Matrix, classic. Star Wars, Star Trek. That's nail polish. Oh, you opened it. Oh, let's put this up here. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Here. That's okay. Now we're throwing fits. Okay. See you later. Have a great day. Pretty Woman. This is the crayon chaos. Who's that? Who's that? Avery. That's Avery. Look at all the crayons. Crayon madness. Say bye. Say bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Well, I'm going to go, and I'm so happy that they were quiet for us today. Minus the hooker part. Yes, definitely. Tiny human. Yes, I call her little human, tiny human. Me too, Tanya. I love mornings here. Bye. Have a wonderful day. So much love to you guys. And check your followers and do what you can with that stuff, because yucky. Ugh. Okay. Have a great day. Bye.